The shocking reality. Modern workers face a startling paradox. Despite living in the most technologically advanced era in human history, we have less time off than medieval peasants. The average American works 233 days annually, with only 16 vacation days, while medieval peasants worked approximately 150 days per year, giving them 185 days off. That's 12 times more vacation than modern workers receive. The United States stands alone as the only developed nation with 0 legally required paid vacation. Making matters worse, 55% of Americans don't even use their available vacation days, leaving $61.4 billion worth of benefits unused. Fear drives this behavior. Fear of appearing lazy, falling behind, losing jobs, or being perceived as uncommitted. Modern work culture has transformed exhaustion into a badge of honor. We celebrate declarations like, "I haven't taken a vacation in 3 years," or "I worked 80 hours this week," as achievements rather than red flags. Rise and grind mentality and hustle culture have conditioned us to equate human worth with productivity, making rest seem like laziness and time off appear selfish. Where medieval time off came from? The Catholic Church mandated extensive rest periods throughout the year. Every Sunday was non-negotiable, 52 days automatically, but religious holidays added dramatically more time off. Christmas lasted 12 full days, not just one. Easter included a full week off, plus Holy Week with reduced schedules. Advent and Lent involved fasting, religious services, and reduced work. Individual saints' days scattered throughout the year added enormously to vacation time. Medieval Christianity had thousands of saints, with different regions celebrating different patron saints for towns, churches, guilds, and professions. On average, at least one significant saint's day occurred weekly, adding 52 more days minimum. France had over 90 official feast days annually. Spain reported 5 full months of holidays in some regions. Even conservative England documented 80 to 100 religious holidays per year for typical peasants. Religious observances alone provided 100 to 130 days off annually. Beyond religious holidays, community celebrations added more time. Weddings were multi-day village affairs lasting 3 to 7 days. Births, christenings, funerals, traveling performers, sporting events, seasonal festivals, May Day, and midsummer celebrations all meant time away from regular work. Agriculture itself was fundamentally seasonal. Spring planting was intense, preparing dormant fields, plowing, breaking soil, planting seeds. Late spring into summer meant maintenance, weeding, watching for pests, tending animals, but less intensely than planting. Late summer harvest was the busiest period, with everyone working dawn to dusk for weeks, bringing in crops before weather ruined them. Late fall into winter meant almost nothing. You cannot plant crops in frozen ground. You cannot harvest what isn't growing. You cannot do intensive field work when everything's covered in snow. For 4 to 5 months in northern climates like England, there simply wasn't enough agricultural work to fill every day. Sure, winter maintenance existed, repairing tools, fixing buildings, tending livestock, making clothes, household tasks. But intensive dawn-to-dusk field labor was seasonal, concentrated in specific parts of the year. When intensive work was necessary, peasants worked very long days, 12, 14, even 16 hours during summer. But those intense periods were balanced by extended, lighter work periods or relative leisure. Even during working days, the pace differed completely from modern work. A 1500s bishop, complaining about workers he considered lazy, inadvertently documented their typical workday. Workers rested leisurely in the morning before starting work mid-morning. They took mid-morning breakfast breaks. At noon, they stopped for lunch, regardless of task status. Afternoon naps were expected, siestas during the day's heat. Afternoon refreshments provided another break. When the workday ended, they immediately stopped working, dropping tools regardless of whether tasks were complete. Compare this to modern reality. Skipping lunch, working through breaks, staying late, checking emails after hours.
But wasn't medieval life terrible? Medieval life genuinely suffered in many ways. No antibiotics or modern medicine meant simple infections could kill. No anesthesia meant surgery involved getting drunk or biting leather. No dentistry meant living with tooth pain or having teeth yanked with pliers while conscious. No air conditioning, central heating, electricity, artificial light, running water, indoor plumbing, or modern conveniences we take for granted. No human rights as we understand them. Born into a social class, you stayed there. No social mobility. No democracy, voting, or representation. Life expectancy was rough. Infant mortality was tragically high. Disease was everywhere. Plague, tuberculosis, smallpox, leprosy, with no treatments or cures. Famine threatened constantly. One bad harvest meant starvation for entire regions. Violence was more common. Wars, raids, bandits, with no organized police or reliable justice system. Medieval vacation wasn't tropical islands or ski resorts. Most peasants never traveled more than 10-20 miles from their birthplace. Their time off involved other work, tending garden plots, fixing homes, making and mending clothes, chopping firewood, carrying water, cooking over open fires for hours, cleaning everything by hand. Life was hard in ways we can barely imagine. However, and this is crucial, even accounting for all these terrible aspects, medieval peasants still had something we lack: built-in, mandatory, culturally enforced, societally expected rest time. Community celebrations everyone participated in together. Social bonds everyone maintained. Rhythms of work and rest honoring human needs for recovery and leisure. Nobody was expected to be productive every single day. Nobody was available 24/7. Nobody ground and hustled constantly without breaks. Work had natural limits, endpoints, and pauses built into the year's structure.
Modern paradox. We live in history's richest, most technologically advanced society. We have washing machines, dishwashers, cars, planes, computers, the internet, smartphones, and medical care curing diseases that were death sentences a century ago. Everything saves time, makes life easier, more convenient, supposedly giving us more leisure and freedom. So why are we more exhausted than people who hauled water from wells by hand? More stressed than people who washed clothes by beating them on rocks? More burnt out than people who walked everywhere? Worker productivity has skyrocketed over the past 50 years. We produce far more value per hour than our grandparents did. Technology has made us incredibly efficient. One worker today does the work of 5 or 10 workers from decades ago, but productivity gains went to the top: executives and shareholders. Wages barely kept pace with inflation. Real wages have stagnated for decades. Vacation time actually decreased. Americans today get less paid time off than workers did 50 years ago. We're more productive, create more value, work more efficiently, and have less time off. Medieval peasants worked when work needed doing, then stopped. They rested, celebrated, spent time with family and community. They lived. Modern workers work constantly, even without real work to do. Moving things around to look busy, creating work to fill time, attending meetings that could be emails, doing tasks that don't actually matter. Being busy has become virtuous. Being available signals dedication. Exhaustion is a badge of honor. You're always available, always connected, always grinding, always on.
The Industrial Revolution marked the turning point. Before factories, most Europeans worked in agriculture or as artisans. Work was seasonal, task-based, community-oriented. You worked when there was work. Otherwise, you didn't. Factories, starting in the late 1700s through the 1800s, changed everything. Suddenly, workers had to show up at the exact same time daily, work exact same hours, keep machines running constantly because machines don't tire, maximize productivity every minute because time is money. Factory owners realized they were paying for time, workers' presence, hours of their lives. So they wanted every single minute. Maximum value extraction from every purchased hour. Early factory workers had it brutal. 14, 16-hour workdays were standard, 6 or 7 days weekly. Children, as young as 5 or 6, worked in dangerous conditions. Factories, mines, textile mills, operating dangerous machinery, breathing toxic fumes, losing fingers, hands, limbs, dying. No safety regulations, protections, guards on machines. No unions, collective bargaining, or worker protections. No weekends, vacations, holidays, or breaks beyond preventing workers from literally collapsing. Complaining meant instant firing and replacement. Someone more desperate always existed. Decades of labor organizing, strikes, protests, and literal violence won back basic rights. The 8-hour workday didn't just happen. Workers fought and died for it. Weekends weren't given. Workers struck and were beaten by police demanding them. Child labor laws, safety regulations, minimum wage, workers' compensation, none were given freely. All were fought for and won through struggle. The 40-hour workweek wasn't legally established in the United States until 1938's Fair Labor Standards Act, less than a century ago. Paid vacation has never been federally mandated in the United States. No federal law requires employers to give any paid time off. Some employers offer it to attract workers. Many don't offer it at all. Over roughly 200 years, 1800 to 2000, we went from 185 days off yearly to maybe 16 if lucky. 2 centuries completely transformed our relationship with work and rest, erasing centuries of cultural practice around leisure. Now, with smartphones and remote work and work-life integration, it's worse. Bosses can reach you anywhere, anytime through email, text, Slack, Teams, Discord, demanding immediate attention at all hours. The line between work time and personal time has dissolved completely. You're expected available 24/7, checking emails after dinner, responding to messages on weekends, taking calls during vacation. Just a quick question. Sorry to bother you on your day off. Except it's never just 1 minute or one question, and it's rarely actually urgent. Medieval peasants worked when the sun was up, rested when it set. Winter's short days and frozen ground meant months of rest. Modern workers are working at 11 p.m. because of messages marked urgent that could have waited, answering Slack on Saturday afternoon, thinking about work during dinner, checking phones during conversations, mentally working even when physically off the clock. You never fully disconnect, never completely off duty, always partially at work, even outside the office. You're on call without being paid for it. What other countries do? The European Union legally guarantees every worker a minimum 20 days paid vacation annually. Most European countries exceed that minimum. France has 30 days plus 11 public holidays, 41 total. Germany, Spain each have 30 days. Austria, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Norway each have 25 days minimum. Importantly, people actually take their vacation in these countries. All of it. It's expected, normal, culturally enforced. Not taking vacation would concern bosses and coworkers. It would seem unhealthy.
Economically, these countries aren't suffering. They're not falling behind or becoming uncompetitive. Many European countries have higher productivity per hour worked than the United States. Why? Rested workers are more productive, creative, focused, efficient, and better problem solvers. Treating humans like humans instead of machines actually makes them better at work. Meanwhile, the United States has record levels of burnout, stress-related illness, depression, and anxiety diagnoses. Heart disease and stroke risk are linked to overwork. Studies consistently show overwork is literally killing us, shortening lives, causing serious health problems. We're not getting better results. We're not more successful or wealthier per capita than European countries with far more vacation. We're just more exhausted, burned out, stressed, and unhealthy. This happens because of culture, expectations, and conditioning about work. Rest equals weakness. Time off equals laziness. Boundaries equal lack of ambition. The takeaway: we're not going back to medieval times. That would be absurd. Modern medicine, antibiotics, indoor plumbing, electricity, the internet, and modern conveniences are valuable. But perhaps medieval peasants understood something important we've forgotten.
Work should have clear, enforced, respected boundaries and defined endpoints. Rest is essential, not optional, not a luxury, not something earned after proving yourself. Essential, like food, water, sleep. Community celebration matters. Time with family and friends matters. Social connections matter. Life outside work matters. There's more to human existence than productivity, more to life than economic output, more to being alive than producing value for someone else. We live in a world where we could absolutely work less. The technology, wealth, and productivity exist. Our technology and automation levels mean we could give everyone more leisure time and maintain or improve living standards. Other countries prove it's possible. They're doing it now. We're choosing this system, or passively accepting it without pushing back. What if we fought for mandatory paid vacation like workers fought for the 8-hour workday? What if contacting workers outside work hours except genuine emergencies was illegal? What if weekends and evenings were legally protected sacred rest time? What if working your contracted hours then going home wasn't quiet quitting, but just doing your job? What if using all vacation days wasn't slacking, but living a balanced, healthy life? What if we rejected glorifying overwork and exhaustion? Medieval peasants didn't choose their rest time. The church mandated it, the agricultural cycle dictated it, society enforced it. We do have choices. We can make different decisions, demand better, set boundaries, vote for policies protecting workers' time and well-being, change workplace culture one person, company, and industry at a time. You deserve rest, not because you've earned it or are productive enough, but because you're human. You deserve time with family and friends. You deserve hobbies and interests. You deserve to actually live your life, not just work it away for someone else's profit. Medieval peasants understood that 700 years ago without our education, technology, wealth, and development. They still knew that fundamental truth. Maybe it's time we remembered it. Medieval peasants had 150 days off yearly. You have 16. They knew something we forgot. Rest isn't lazy. It's human.